Hello and welcome to the 2023 MyCoin Ironman 70.3 Kenting Athlete Briefing. Today we will be taking you through the athlete briefing developed by our local race director, Joe Lee. In this briefing we will cover the event schedule, weather forecast for the event weekend, athlete items, course reviews and post-race schedule. If you have not already done so, please read the athlete information guide as there is information in there that we will not have time to cover in this briefing. Also, if you have any questions at the end, please feel free to ask those in the comments section or send a DM to the event team in Facebook. Ironman 70.3 Kenting will officially kick off on Friday, October 27th. We will only cover key schedule items now, but for a more extensive event schedule, please visit the event schedule on the website or in the athlete information guide. On Friday, athlete check-in will be open from noon to 6 p.m. In the evening, there will be the first of the 3 athlete buffet times that will be held at the Howard Beach Resort, Kenting, Champs-Elysees. Please only choose one option. There will be 2 other options on Saturday as well. On Saturday, athlete check-in will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and mandatory bike check-in will be open from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Remember, all bikes must be dropped off in transition at this time, and there will be a transition tour and Q&A at the transition area at 2 p.m. This will be your last opportunity to ask Joe, our race director, any event questions in person. Sunday morning, transition will be open from 4:30 a.m. to 5:40 a.m., where all athletes must clear their transition by 5:40 a.m. at the latest to be ready at the rolling start at 6 a.m. After the completion of the race, we will have bike checkout from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Ironman 70.3 World Championship slot allocation at 3:30 p.m, followed by the awards at 4:30 p.m, both in the Howard Beach Resort, Kenting 1F, Champs-Elysees. The weather forecast for race weekend will be in the high 20s and drop into the mid 20s during the day, with possible rain on both Saturday and Sunday. But please keep an update on the weather forecast throughout the week, as it is likely that the conditions will change. The official water temperature and wetsuit decision will be made by event officials on race morning and announced to athletes. The expected conditions call for a water temperature of 25 degrees, which would make this a wetsuit optional event, meaning that athletes choose to wear a wetsuit would need to start at the back of the rolling start and would not be eligible for awards or a world championship slot. Water conditions are expected to be calm and flat. When athletes check in at registration, please check your race kit to ensure you have the following items: wristband, which is mandatory to wear at all times after check-in until you check your bike out post-race, 2 tattoo numbers to be applied to your left upper arm and left calf for race day, a race bib number to be worn only during the run, bike seat post stickers, 2 helmet stickers to be placed on the front and left side of your helmet, 3 bag stickers for your T1 bag, T2 bag and street gear bag, bike pump sticker, swim cap, and your blue T1 bag, red T2 bag and black street gear bag. The mandatory bike check-in will be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the transition area in the Howard Beach Resort, Kenting parking lot. Athletes are required to have their wristbands on, their seat post stickers attached to their bike, and their helmet with both helmet stickers attached to the front and left side for helmet inspection. Remember, there is no bike check-in allowed on race morning, and all athletes must have their bikes in transition by 6 p.m. on Saturday. Athletes can check in their gear bags both on bike check-in and on race morning, and they can also leave their helmet and bike shoes at their bike. On race morning, athletes will be allowed to access their bikes and drop their transition bags from 4:30 a.m. to 5:40 a.m. and then must proceed to the start area. Athletes should remember to bring their transition and streetwear gear bags, swim cap, wristband, timing chip, helmet, and bike pump if needed. Other important items for each athlete to remember race morning include bike shoes, nutrition, and hydration. Athletes will need to drop their streetwear gear bags themselves at the tent next to the pool in the recovery area before heading to the swim start area. Timing chips will be distributed during bike check-in. If an athlete competes without their timing chip, there is no way to validate they completed the course and will show up as a DNS or DNF in the results. If at any point an athlete realizes they lose their timing chip, please notify event staff. We will have spare timing chips at the swim start, swim exit, and in transition. If an athlete drops out of the race, please return your timing chip to an event staff member as it is important for safety purposes. We know that you are no longer competing in the race. Relay teams must have all 3 members check in at the same time at athlete check-in. Your timing chip will act as your relay baton when exchanging the timing chip. Athletes must do that from the relay exchange tent inside of transition. Relay team members must wear their wristbands at all times, and this is the only way to gain entry to the relay exchange tent or the post-race area. The bib number only needs to be worn by the run leg member. All relay team members can finish the last straight into the finish line together as long as they have their wristbands on. Both the swim to bike relay exchange and the bike to run relay exchange. The exchange tent will be located after the bike and run gear bags, racks, and change tents as signified by the green icon on the transition map, which is in a later slide. Bike and run leg relay members must report to this location before they start their leg. We will have bike mechanical services at multiple points throughout the event. In transition, during bike check-in, pre-race morning, and during T1. On course, there will be both mobile bike techs moving around and bike techs at the aid stations, but please be mindful that bike techs respond on a first come, first serve basis, and this service may require significant wait times. Bike techs will assist athletes with repairs. Medical and health information. Please remember your safety is our first priority, and we will have medical stationed at the race venue, swim start, swim exit, transition, all bike and run aid stations, as well as the finish line and recovery areas. If you are not feeling well on race morning, we strongly advise you not to start. If you decide not to start the event, you must inform a race official so we can officially withdraw you from the event. If you start to feel unwell at any point of the day, we urge you to seek help rather than continue. Do not be afraid to ask for help. You will not be disqualified for receiving medical evaluation. Please remember to manage your health on race day, and if you feel unwell, stop immediately. Our team is available to support and provide an evaluation, and this does not constitute of outside assistance. If it is hot, please ensure you are hydrating responsibly. Race healthy, race smart. For medical support on course, please be mindful of this information. During the swim, raise and wave your hand to alert the water safety team that you need help. If able to, you can also verbalize you are in need of help by yelling help. You can also grab onto a kayak, paddleboard, or nearby boat. You will not be disqualified for grabbing onto any of these safety items during the race. During the bike, if you are not at or near an aid station, stop and let someone know you need medical help. Another athlete can request for you. Anyone can help. Another athlete, a staff vehicle, event support vehicle, or event moto that is out on course, even a spectator. Have them alert the nearest aid station or staff member that you need medical assistance. Please remember to provide your bib number for faster assistance. During the run, it is the same as bike course. If you are not at or near an aid station, stop and let someone know you need medical help. And anyone can help. Another athlete, a staff vehicle, event support vehicle, or event moto out on course, even a spectator. Have them alert the nearest aid station or staff member that you need medical assistance, and make sure you provide your bib number for faster assistance. After you have finished the race, please do not leave the post-race area until you are reasonably certain you are okay and are able to drink without vomiting and standing without dizziness. If you are not feeling well, please come to the event medical tent to be evaluated by the medical team before leaving the recovery area. Remember, race healthy, race smart. We will cover swim, bike and run courses, as well as the transition flow. Two things to note related to the race. It is the athlete's responsibility to know and understand the 2023 Ironman rules and regulations. These are available at ironman.com, and it is the responsibility of the athlete to know and follow the course as prescribed below. Swim course is a one-lap, M-shaped 1.9 kilometre course, and there will be no opportunity for a swim warm-up prior to the race. Athletes will need to position themselves in the starting area based on their expected swim times. There will be flags labelled with time ranges to help organise the faster swimmers in the front and the slower swimmers in the back. Once athletes are in the water, keep the yellow buoys on your left shoulder and turn left at the last yellow buoy. Athletes will then continue towards shore and turn around the last yellow buoy on their right, and then follow the pink buoys on their right shoulder with the yellow buoys on their left shoulder, completing the M. Once they get to the last yellow buoy, they will turn and return to shore, where they will exit through the last two pink buoys close to shore to finish the swim. Athletes can stop and rest by holding onto any of the buoys, swim lines, boats, or other swim safety equipment. But please remember, any forward progress you make is prohibited and can result in a disqualification. There will be a shower zone after the swim exit. If at any point during the swim you require assistance, please raise your arm and one of the swim safety staff will respond immediately. If there is a swim cancellation for whatever reason after the swim has started, you will hear horns and whistles blow continuously. Please follow the instructions of the swim safety staff and exit the water. If you drop out before or during the race for safety reasons, it is important to return your chip to the dropout clerk at the information tent at transition, or return to any event staff member you can be in contact with. Upon completing the swim, you will exit the water from the beach, pass through the tunnel, past the shower area into the hotel, and to the transition area to claim your bike and T1 transition bag. It is 800 metres from the swim exit to transition. You will pick up your blue gear bag and drop the bag outside of the change tent. You'll follow the blue line to the bike mount line for individual athletes. Relay team members will exchange the timing chip at the relay tent that says RT, and then the cyclist will then follow the green line to the mount line. Once on the bike, athletes will do one lap of the course. Cyclists will exit the transition area from Howard Beach Resort, head right onto Provincial Highway 26 along the coast, and to avoid gridlock on Kenting Street, you will need to turn left into Darwin Road for about 1 kilometre and then return to Provincial Highway 26 again. Athletes will then turn left at Nangguan Road and then turn left again to go on to Pingtung 153 Road. Riding on Pingtung 153 Road, athletes will pass several famous Pingtung attractions. Athletes will then continue along Checheng Coastal Scenic Highway, where you will be able to enjoy the view of the spacious Guishan Bridge and Fuyan Bridge. After turning left onto Provincial Highway 26 and riding about 10 kilometres forward, it means the athletes have completed the half of the bike course. Athletes can then make their U-turn and enjoy the gorgeous view again from another angle on the way back by following the same route back to transition. There will be a marker every 10 kilometres on course. There are some sections that are open to traffic and cyclists will ride in a lane next to vehicles. Please be vigilant and stay alert about what is happening around you, as traffic and scooters can find their way onto course before being removed. As covered earlier, we will have one stationary bike mechanic at aid stations 1 and 2 on course and 2 mobile bike mechanics as well. There will be 4 aid stations at 26 kilometres, 46.7 kilometres, 58.2 kilometres and 74.5 kilometres. There will also be SAG vehicles at the turnaround point to transport athletes back to transition that cannot finish the race. If you need to drop out, this point is the easiest and fastest way to get transport back to transition. There will be one penalty tent located in transition if you receive a penalty during the bike. You will need to report to the penalty tent after racking your bike before continuing on to the run. As mentioned earlier, we will have 4 aid stations, and the first aid station location will be available at 26, 46.7, 58.2 and 74.5 kilometres on the bike course. As you approach the aid station, the order of items will be a rubbish bin, water will be in the green bottles, isotonic will be in the pink bottles, then it will be food, isotonic, water, toilets, and then a last opportunity to discard your rubbish. Please remember, rubbish can only be discarded at the aid stations, and if done anywhere else on course, can result in a disqualification. As with all Ironman events, this is a non-drafting event, so please keep 12 metres between yourself and the athlete in front of you at all times. This distance is measured from front wheel to front wheel. Avoid riding next to another athlete or remaining in the passing lane after a completed pass, as this can result in a blocking penalty. A started pass must be completed within 25 seconds or you risk a penalty. And if you are overtaken by another athlete, it is your responsibility as the overtaken athlete to drop back 12 metres out of the draft zone. If you receive a penalty from any of the race officials during the bike leg, you must report to the yellow tent in transition before the run, or you will be disqualified. A yellow card is a 30-second penalty, a blue card is 5 minutes, and red card is disqualification. If an athlete receives 3 blue cards, that will result in a disqualification. Common penalties include drafting, blocking, illegal passing, and littering. Please be mindful and avoid risking a penalty on race day. This is very important. Please pay attention to the following process if you receive a penalty on the bike, as this is unique to other countries. Official will call out the athlete's number. Athlete will need to pull over to the side of the road and make a complete stop. Official will show you the penalty card. The official will then mark the sticker on the helmet or seat post. They will then take a picture of the athlete at this point. You have not served your penalty. You have only been issued the penalty. After the picture is taken, the athlete will return to the course. You must then report to the penalty tent, which is the yellow tent, in the transition area to serve your actual penalty before entering the run course. This is extremely important to follow this process or you can be disqualified. When coming into transition from the bike course, please ensure you dismount at the dismount line and follow the signs into transition. You will enter the same way you exited with your bike. Once you dismount your bike, you will enter the transition area. Follow the orange line to rack your bike. Use your T2 bag to change into your running gear and then continue out onto the run course following the red line. After exiting transition area, athletes will begin the 1-lap course that heads out onto Provincial Highway 26 into Heaping Lane, Guanjuan Road, and then you will gradually climb to Shedding Natural Park at about 4 kilometres. Once you will pass across Longzipu grassland and turn right from the famous attraction of Feng Shuisha, athletes will be offered an amazing view of the southern tip of Taiwan while running along different grasslands and unpaved sections past local accommodations. You will then enter the finish line in Howard Beach Resort. There are 8 aid station locations. The product order will be rubbish bin, water, isotonic and cola, food, isotonic and cola, water, toilets, and a last opportunity for rubbish disposal. Please remember, rubbish can only be discarded at the aid stations. If done elsewhere on course, it can result in a disqualification. You will need to follow the red line to the finish line in Howard Hall from the Provincial Highway. Once in the finish line, volunteers will meet you and direct you to medical if needed, or athletes will receive a finisher medal and towel. Your timing chip will be returned, and then you'll have access to the food, drink, massage, and streetwear bags in the recovery area. Please be aware that only athletes are allowed in the finish line area. Any athletes that finishes with friends or family will be disqualified. As mentioned earlier, swim and bike relay members can join their runner in the last straight to finish the race, but must be wearing their athlete wristband to be allowed into the finish chute. Cut-off times will be strictly enforced by the event team, and each time does not start until you cross the timing mat at the swim start. There is no advantage to starting in the front. All athletes have the same amount of time. If an athlete is not able to meet the cut-off times, they will show up as a DNF in the results. All time of day cut-offs are approximate and are based on the last athlete entering the water at 6:21 a.m. These cut-offs can be moved forward or backwards based on how long it takes to get the last athlete into the water. The swim, you'll have 1 hour and 10 minutes from your individual start time. The swim course cut-off will be 7:31 a.m. If you do not complete the swim by this time, you will not be allowed to continue. Each athlete will then have 5 hours and 30 minutes from their individual start time to complete the bike. There will be intermediate cut-offs at 35 kilometres at 9:25 a.m. and at 71 kilometres at 11 a.m. Event staff will be at these points to notify athletes that they are a DNF and will be returning them to transition. The bike course will close at 11:51 a.m. Each athlete will then have 8 hours and 30 minutes from their individual start time to complete the race. There will be intermediate cutoffs on the run course at 9.5 kilometres at 1:30 p.m. and 16.2 kilometres at 2:15 p.m. Again, there will be event staff at these points to notify athletes that they are DNF and they will not be allowed to finish. The run course will close at 2:51 p.m. Please remember, the race director reserves the right to institute unannounced cutoffs if required. We do have medical teams across all legs of the race and will be available at all aid stations on the bike and run courses, as well as within the race venue. Please reach out to them if you need assistance or see another athlete in need of assistance. Race healthy, race smart. There will be over 200 volunteers from the local community assisting with the race wearing blue shirts. Most of them only speak the local dialect in Chinese. So if you need to communicate with them, please be patient and they will help you with what you need. World Championship slot allocation. The slot allocation for the 2024 Ironman 70.3 World Championships will be held in the Howard Beach Resort, Kenting, 1F Champs-Élysées at 3:30 p.m. after the race. We will have 30 age group qualifying slots for the event in Taupo, New Zealand on December 14th and 15th, 2024. If you hope to earn a slot, be on time for slot allocation. If you qualify for a slot and your name is called and you are not there to claim the slot is lost and will roll to the next athlete on the list, and there will be no opportunity to get it back. If you don't think you're fast enough to qualify but still wish to go to the World Championships, definitely show up. There is always a chance you can earn a slot, as it is common for some slots to roll down from the top athletes in each age group division. If you do take a slot, you will need a photo ID and be prepared to pay the $780 USD, which includes all registration and processing fees at that time. Only Visa and MasterCard will be accepted. Immediately following the slot allocation will be the awards at 4:30 p.m. in the same location. The top 5 athletes in each age group and top 3 in relay categories will receive an award. If you expect that you are in the awards list but cannot make the awards ceremony, please notify event staff so they can make arrangements to get your award to you. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment sections below or feel free to DM the event team. Also, please remember, if you have not already done so, please read the athlete information guide that is online. And that concludes our athlete briefing. Thank you and good luck on race day.